Pickleball is seen as such a highly regarded sport nowadays, and badminton is always forever seen as some joke. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have another rant video for you today, and this time it's about pickleball. So the story goes like this. The other day, I was having a dinner with some colleagues, sort of like an after-work summer social event, and who sat across from me was a colleague that I don't really interact too much with, but is someone I really respect because he's been with the team for probably 10 years, and he's a really smart person. All my colleagues are super smart. I respect them all. This guy, he's an engineer. I think he has an MBA coupled with that, and he's just a really smart person. I respect him a lot. We got into a discussion about sports and what people have been up to, and he kind of just says, I've been playing pickleball and got really into it. And he's, to no fault of him, obviously, he started, going on about how you can get humbled pretty quickly. It's a pretty demanding sport and all that kind of stuff. He didn't really say it in those words, but he was saying high praise about pickleball. And I guess this is the first time you'll probably know of this about me, but I, as someone who plays pretty much intermediate plus advanced badminton on a weekly basis, as you all know, I think highly of tennis, just as I do with badminton. But I'm sorry, I don't really think that highly of pickleball. Don't get me wrong, this video in no way, shape, or form, and never will be bashing pickleball. That's not the point. The point is my mandate is to make badminton not a devalued sport, which I'm gonna get to because I think this colleague had the same sort of illusion of badminton as do a bunch of other people on this planet who don't play badminton. And so anyway, it got around to me, and I was holding it in for the longest time because I don't want to talk about my thoughts on pickleball because I really, to be honest, here's my thoughts, okay? I think pickleball is a really good game. It's a really good out for, it's a racket sport. Racket sports in general have been proven to be very good for cardiovascular workouts and the brain as well, longevity. So it's a great sport, and I personally think it's more catered to suit older people who, again, this is where I kind of go into, it seems like I'm bashing, I'm not, but it caters more to those who may have trouble keeping up with a sport like tennis and badminton. And it is a really fun way to get that exercise in despite that. And so pickleball was born, and because it's so accessible to those who want something slightly less demanding and still as fun. And it doesn't mean old people, it could mean just people who are less athletic in general, maybe people who just don't play sports on a regular basis. It's a really good segue into racket sports, and all you need is paddle. It's very simple, and I just think it's a really great game. I really hesitate to say the word sport, which I'll get into. Everything I'll say is backed by facts, so bear with me here. I'm not bashing it. I just want to be very fair with the words I use according to the facts that I have. So I will call it what it is. It's a good game that has a little bit of exercise component and is very accessible. I can see the appeal. I personally have played pickleball twice so far. One of those times have been 2 hours, and it was really fun. I don't mind playing it. I don't mind playing it just like I don't mind playing a board game. Like I don't mind going to some Ninja Warrior obstacle gym. But if I were to want real exercise, I'm gonna play badminton because I just can't get that exercise from pickleball, nor will I, which again, I'll prove with facts. Bear with me. So back to the story, this colleague of mine, back to me, I started talking about those thoughts that I just imparted on you. And you could tell this guy was like, yeah, whatever. And I really I don't like it when anyone dismisses badminton. So I said what I had to say. I said, I don't think it's that intensive. I play lots of badminton. I played pickleball once or twice. And I don't feel like it's a real sport. And it's a fun game. And I think pickleball is quite easy. And I think I can, with a few more tries, I can easily get the hang of it and be pretty good at it, considering I've tried it and I have lots of transferable skills. And based on all the facts that I'll tell you very soon, I have lots of facts that prove what I'm saying is not opinion. But, he made a comment that really triggered me. And he basically said, well, I think badminton is easy. And I was like, inside me, I was like, bruh, you serious? Are you serious right now? Badminton is easy, and then all this praise about pickleball, no respect for all disregard for everything I've said, and then badminton is easy. So I skipped all the details. It's a work thing, but I guess I really should have held this in, but I didn't, and I kind of regret it. Afterwards, I did apologize, only because it is a work thing. Had it not been a work thing, I wouldn't have apologized after. I wouldn't have kept it, cool. But in that moment, despite trying to keep it cool, I had said, look, let's do this really fairly. If we have a very fundamental difference in opinion, you think pickleball is, all like quite hard, technical, whatever you want to say. You think it's a sport. You get good exercise out of it. I think the same way about badminton. I think pickleball is easy. You think badminton is easy. Why don't we do this? Give me one of your Sundays. We'll play 3 hours of badminton and 3 hours of pickleball. And my goal is to convince you that what I'm saying is true and you can do the same. I want to preface by saying, in no way, shape, or form that in that 6-hour period I plan to beat him or crush him or anything like that. I plan to have a fun time, but at least on the badminton court, I was thinking of hitting various shots to him. I wouldn't be like smashing. I wouldn't even smash him. I would just lob it, drop it, lob it, drop it, and make him run. And of course he'll lose, but I think like when I said that, everybody at the table was sort of saying, oh, Locke wants to just like beat this guy so that he learns a lesson. Like, no, obviously that's not. What point would I prove if I just invite him to the badminton court and beat him like 21-0? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give him a few points. I'm going to make it so that he barely gets like 15 points so that he's gassed. My point is to prove to him that there's lots of skill and that it's much more technical and way more cardio intensive than he ever imagined. And I, sincerely and fairly speaking, will let him do the same to me if he so wishes to, if he can so do so, on the pickleball court. I personally think he'll definitely beat me because anyone, like I don't play pickleball. Obviously, I've played twice. Obviously, anyone can beat me because I don't have the touch and everything required. Maybe by the 2-hour mark though, I'm pretty sure I'd do better. But one thing's for sure, I'm gonna prove in that pickleball 3 hours that I'm not going to get tired, even though there's a huge skill gap between me being down here and him being up here. There's no way I'm going to be that tired. Given my cardio background, my VO2 max, my badminton footwork, there's no way. So that was my plan, and I think that's a very fair, friendly way to sort of understand each other, and maybe by the end of it, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I lean more towards him. Maybe we both kind of lean towards each other, and I learn more about pickleball and say, you know what, pickleball is much harder than I thought. Maybe I'll call it a sport, and maybe for him, he won't say badminton's easy. That was my goal. But of course, when I mentioned that, him and other colleagues tried to defuse, and it was sort of like, oh, Locke's like heating up the situation and trying to like win and everything. No, I'm not gonna win in pickleball, and you're not gonna win in badminton. The whole point is to hang out, is to have each other understand better. But obviously it was unwilling. Brushed it off like a joke. I was serious. People thought it was a joke, so be it. But I felt like that was a very fair way to resolve a difference in opinion. And I was more than happy to do so. And I straight up said, I will pay for the whole day. I just want your time. But obviously that was brushed off, that was never accepted, that was never taken seriously, so that was it. So I don't think I could change this person's opinion. After the dinner, I had apologized. I meant no, like I didn't mean to come off as trying to be winning or pushy and stuff like that. I just tried to like keep it, kind of cordial, because, we are colleagues, and I do really respect this person. I don't want any hard feelings. But, and he had said, like, hey, like, totally, badminton's cool. My son plays it. Look, I just wish that, and this is just an example, like I said, I'm not bashing pickleball. I really mean no harm feelings to this colleague of mine. This just prompted me to think, why is it that pickleball is seen as such a highly regarded sport nowadays, and badminton is like always forever seen as some joke, when it's like completely misinformation. If any of these people who think badminton is a joke or is easy actually played with someone who actually plays badminton, not someone of their same level, and the point, again, is not for the higher skilled person like me to beat them. They're obviously going to lose. It's for them to understand that from a highly skilled person's perspective, to show them that there are many, many different types of shots. Now, up until this point of the video, you have heard a lot of opinions from me and emotions from me. I've gotten that out. But I just want, if anyone, surprisingly, if anyone from that dinner was watching this video up to this point, I urge you to continue, because I have facts to prove that my opinions are not just opinions. And I would say you're probably going to struggle to find the same ones for pickleball, because it's science. So actually, you know what? Before I even get into this, let's talk about the difference in physics of the two sports. Fine, I'll call it a sport. First of all, the court size, I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is the same. In fact, Gemini, right here, I use Google Gemini, by the way. I don't use ChatGPT. Gemini says badminton has a larger court size, and pickleball has a smaller court size. But I actually thought it was the same court size. So it actually even works even more in favor of badminton. But anyway, let's just say it's the same court size. think critically about this for a second. If you've played both sports, think critically. Tennis and badminton and squash, the racket has a string bed, okay? Listen to me carefully. The string bed has something called repulsion, okay? So if I drop some object onto a string bed, think of it like an elastic band that doesn't have high tension. The object will slow motion, will kind of go onto the string bed and then go dip underneath a little. And then using that dip, it will repulsion back the other direction. This is just basic physics. My engineer colleague would understand this totally. So we go doing and off, right? So, and in comparison, if you think about ping pong, table tennis, or pickleball, what is the bed surface that you're hitting with? It's a hard surface. So if you pull the string bed to infinity, you get basically a plank of wood. Imagine a plank of wood or plastic. When you drop the same object on it, it'll go dong. It won't bounce off, right? So this is very important. When you hit the same object, one with a string bed, one with a hard surface, at max power, the one on the string bed would fly further because it has the assistance of the extra repulsion component from the string. Whereas the one from the flat, like hard surface, just go dong and flies off. There's no boing kind of bounce off. So I hope this is making sense. Though all things equal, anything with a string bed goes further than a hard surface. All things equal, same power, same ball, same everything. It just because there's a string bed. Okay, I think I've beat that concept down. Number one. Number two, the ball from like tennis and badminton is optimized for that repulsion. It has some mush to it that goes boing and bounces off. So it's even more repulsion. But something like table tennis or pickleball, it's a hard ball as well, in addition to a hard surface that you're hitting the hard ball onto. So I don't need to explain this. Come on, we're not in grade 10 physics here. It doesn't fly far. All things equal, same power, same everything. It just, when you're hitting a hard thing against a hard thing, it just can't fly that fast. What that means is I don't have the numbers for pickleball, but if someone can please comment down below, what is the fastest ever recorded pickleball velocity of the ball? Please let me know, because in badminton, as most of you know, it is the fastest ball speed of any sport, period, known to Earth. The ball flies at the, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but men international tournaments, they smash mid 400 kilometers an hour, and women up to 400 kilometers an hour. Okay, so 300, I believe, is the velocity for which an object can pierce skin. Badminton shuttlecock full speed smashes go 400 plus, up to 500 kilometers an hour. Someone pasted the pickleball numbers here, but it is just not the same. And when you couple that with two additional things, in pickleball, there's a bouncing component. The ball can drop to the floor and then you hit. When you're close to the kitchen, you have to do those kitchen where you have to like let the ball bounce first and stuff like that. I don't know what it's called, but I know something about pickleball. Badminton, you can't let the ball hit the floor. Okay, so that's another reason why it's much more fast paced. So can you imagine, same court size, but all those physics, it means that a badminton requires much more agility, right, than pickleball. It's not even equal. How fast do you have to move in badminton in compared to pickleball, right? Just think about it. It's like night and day. So here AI says that all leads to many things like it requires a full body workout in badminton, lunges to all four corners, jumps, quick directional changes, sprints forward and backward, explosive movements. It says here pickleball and the prevalence of thinking at the net often involves less court coverage and less sustained high intensity. I didn't write this. Google Gemini did. Right? Shuttlecock speed versus pickleball speed. Again, Gemini wrote this, but the stress that the shuttlecock is the fastest projectile in sports, which requires lightning fast reflexes and reaction times. Pickleball is slower and a heavier pickleball that bounces, allowing for more time to react and less dynamic movement. So just from a physics standpoint, it's no comparison. One sport requires much more intense cardio, much more. Pickleball will never reach the intensity of cardio, like for like at the pro level, at the intermediate, at all levels. It will never reach even half, or even 1/4 of badminton's intensity. AI also says continuous plays and rallies. So badminton rallies, especially in singles or fast doubles, can be continuous and demand sustained cardio effort. Players are constantly moving. Nothing here is wrong. Pickleball. While rallies can be long, there's often more standing at the net and less explosive movement compared to badminton. If you play a lot of pickleball, feel free to argue that. I didn't write this, but I think this is true. All right, it says, pickleball, while a good workout, is marketed as lower impact. Common pickleball injuries like sprains, strains, and falls are often in older demographics, which suggests a different type of physical demand. Yeah, AI is being very cordial here with the word choice. It's a different type of physical demand is what it says about pickleball. But hey, it says badminton injuries are common, like ankle sprains, Achilles tendonitis, shoulder issues, high impact movements. Let me tell you something. I told this guy face to face I've broken 3 bones and torn my Achilles playing badminton. How many people, including himself, does he know have broken 3 bones and torn Achilles playing pickleball? If you're watching this, how many do you know? Is the answer 0? I don't know. Let me know. But maybe we can look up the stats. What is the most common pickleball injuries in the pro level, and same with badminton, right? So these are all facts. I'm not applying any opinion to anything. If you want to argue that the pickleball court is not the same size, go and find that fact. But it's not true. It's the same size. If not, pickleball is a smaller court size. If you want to dispute that pickleball ball moves faster than the badminton ball, go ahead. But this is straight up wrong and impossible according to physics, right? So again, it's all facts. All right, so this was a very quick, hopefully quick rant. But again, I want to emphasize, no disrespect to my colleague. His comments just kind of triggered something within me that I felt the need to tell the world more about badminton and how I just think pickleball is a little... People who love pickleball, I feel like get into this, especially if they've never played badminton or tennis. You really need to play badminton and tennis, especially badminton. You don't know that badminton is easy, right? Until you really play it. And you really played it if you've not played with someone who actually plays badminton. I don't think so. And likewise, I admit I haven't played pickleball to the point where I should know more about it. But, final thoughts is that badminton has been an Olympic sport since 1992. And maybe pickleball will at some point due to its popularity. But as far as I'm concerned, last time I checked, pickleball was not an Olympic sport. So again, my coworker, I really respect him. I hope there's no hard feelings with him. It's just a difference of opinion. I wish that the offer I offered is valid. I hope that we can have a friendly match to sort of explore the two opinions. And I also don't want to get a lot of hate from pickleball people because I'm not trying to bash pickleball. I'm just trying to be very fair to the two sports and their differences. So I think pickleball is a very fun thing to do. I would love to do more pickleball if I had more time. I just personally don't get exercise. Like my heart rate doesn't really go anywhere when I play pickleball because I'm used to a different level of intensity from badminton. So that's that. So sorry for the long-winded rant. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.